Hi, friends. Today we're going to talk about what successful business owners do differently in September. Because September is really the reset button that most business owners do not realize that they have. So a lot of us think about our goals for January 1. We like to finish out Q4 and then start January 1st as a refresh. But we're setting ourselves up for a disadvantage because September is actually one of the most powerful months in business. And I'm going to tell you why, because I know it sounds like something you may never have heard of before. It's the fresh start effect. September feels different, and that does matter for your business. When you think about September, you get Gilmore Girl vibes. You get this cozy feeling inside. Everyone's the summer heat wave is winding down. People are getting back into new routines. We have a lot of back to school energy, a lot of going into fall energy. And if other than Christmas Day, I would say that fall is definitely one of the things that people like to celebrate the most because it's a season, right? It's not a singular day or a singular event. It is this warm and cozy season that people are entering into. And it's a time that a lot of people refocus. They've been busy with summer vacations and their kids being home and all of the things for summer. They kind of get them behind. And so they're ready to refocus in September. So use this to your advantage. When you think about people's schedules tightening up, that means your customer schedules are tightening up. When you're thinking new schedules, new supplies, a clean slate, that applies to more than just the schoolroom. And when you're thinking about refocusing, people start getting back to their goals. It's a natural motivation spike, so you want to use it to your advantage. Use September as a time like you would for January 1st. Review the year. How has it gone so far? What worked better than you thought it would? What are you really proud of from January until that point? Which decisions paid off? Also look at your failures. What didn't pay off? What didn't go as planned? What idea flopped? Where did you lose time or money? And what lessons did you learn? What do you know now that you did not know in January? What patterns continue to repeat themselves? Because I promise you, if you pay attention, patterns in business are inevitable. So pay attention. What would you do differently for next year? And then guess what? You don't have to wait until next year. Q4 is your strongest period of time in the year to make a lot of money. So you need to make sure that you're planning accordingly. When you're planning for Q4, now that you've looked back at everything that has happened up until that point, you need to start mapping your Q4 content and your campaign calendar now. Plan promotions before the holiday rush hits. Decide your big push moments in advance, because what I see time and time again are small business owners flying by the seat of their pants in Q4, and you leave money on the table when you do that. Planning is always going to put you at an advantage over your competitors. The biggest names in your industry are planning out well before September for Q4, but at least get started then. You need to look at what inventory sold, what didn't. Did you order enough for Q4? Did you plan for peak weeks or did you drop the ball? Look forward at the months remaining on the calendar and see when you should make sure that you have extra inventory based on just what happens naturally with the seasonality shifting and the weeks of, you need more for Black Friday. You need less the week after Christmas. So plan accordingly. Check in with vendors. Get really firm ship dates. Give them dates where if I don't have this item by this point, I don't want it. You need to cancel my order. If you are a service provider or a coach, the same thing goes for you. Map out your holiday marketing plan. Map out if you're going to be launching anything or if you're just going to be floating. Have it all laid out. With your team, confirm availability for the busy season. Decide when you're going to work and when you're not going to work. Decide if you're going to need extra support for Q4 as a whole, and then you need to get it and get them quickly so you can get them trained. You need to plan your promotions around the real calendar moments. You don't really want to just do what you did last year because that is boring to your customers. You don't want them to know what you're going to do before you release it because it's what you do every single year, unless that's your plan, and there are some times where that works. You will need to make sure that you build out all of this in time so that you can actually prep and not have to scramble for what is about to come. Because again, if you're scrambling, not only will you get burnt out during this busy season, but you're not going to do anything as effectively as you could as if you would have planned. September is going to set the tone. It's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. You're either going to finish strong or you're going to come up short. If you show up and plan in September, you will be able to go in with momentum into October, November, and December. If you're scattered and all over the place in September, it's just going to compound the rest of the year. It's going to be chaotic. It's not going to be fun. You won't be able to enjoy the holiday season with your family. And it's going to leave you at the end of the year being like, I can't do this again. I'm telling you right now, you don't have to do that again. You can just not do it the first time. Or if this is something that you have experienced in other years, make a decision now not to do it anymore. Make a decision now to be like, you know what? I'm going to do it different. Because I bet if you think about years past, you likely didn't plan enough in order to execute appropriately. Like, you shouldn't have to be working all day on Thanksgiving. You should be able to enjoy that. You shouldn't have to work on Christmas Eve unless that's something you want to do. But far too often I see business owners who are planning on taking time with their family, and then it just inevitably falls apart, leaving their family not feeling the love, you feeling so much guilt, and I don't want you to feel guilt, and you just ending up at the end of the year burnout. We don't want to see any of that. So take a moment and schedule a CEO day before the end of September. Have a full day, no client work, stay out of the day-to-day of your business, whatever that is. And then just have you and your numbers and come up with a plan for the rest of the year. Put it on the calendar and then disseminate it to whoever needs to know. The best thing you can do if you have, for instance, a team, whether that's an in-house team, whether it's just you, but you have maybe you're working with us, with our agency, having your holiday promotions outlined ahead of time puts you ahead of the game. It allows the people supporting you to have your back more. It allows you to have a cohesive marketing web that we always talk about. Because if you're throwing stuff in last minute, it gets chaotic. Your messaging gets diluted across all of your platforms because there wasn't enough lead time to make it all be cohesive. So do yourself a favor. Make a lot of money this Q4 and plan it out now. Think of this. September is the Monday morning of your business calendar. I love that because I really do feel like it's true. If you just take a moment, write down your goals, write down your plans, you are going to see so much more success coming into Q4. All right, I would love it if you would share with us what resonated with you, what plans you're putting into place. If you need help brainstorming, we love to help you do that. So check us out on Instagram, send us a message, you can send us an email, you can do all the things. We would love to help you out in this season. We love you so much. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.